And so, it continues. Hello there, welcome back to the Writing Advice Q&A. Today's subject is one that many of us struggle with. What do you do when you want to write, but you can't stop from going back and editing what you are writing? Editing as you go. Let's talk about it. There's a lot to cover today, as a matter of fact. This question was sent by a viewer just like you. So, because I know I'm gonna ramble. I really know I'm gonna ramble, so I think we should just charge on through. So, continuing with the theme this week, this week's videos, of me just charging in and just giving you the hashtag real talk right off the start. Let's go. Stop. Hey there. How you doing? Max here. Stop editing as you go. Just stop. Hey. This is not an intervention. Actually, it is. But you gotta stop doing this. Now, why do we do this every time? Why do we feel compelled to go back a few passages, a few paragraphs, pages, maybe entire chapters back, to look over what we wrote? Why do we do that? I can tell you from personal experience that back when I used to edit as I went, or back when I would do the horrible thing of editing what I wrote the previous day on the day that I was writing, like beginning my day by editing and then writing, oh, that was awful. Oh, that was a bad idea. The reason why I was doing it, and I'm gonna be super honest with you right now, I was doing it because I thought I was saving myself work for later. I thought that by editing right now, I was gonna make it so much easier for me during the revision draft. Oh, the folly of mankind. That was a mistake. Let me tell you why. Our human mind is really good at helping us rationalize things that make absolutely no sense. Let me walk you through this, okay? Because when I say it out loud, it almost sounds like a good idea. I mean, clearly, if I'm gonna have to revise the story later, why not get that done ahead of time? Why not give Max from the future a little bit of an easier time? I mean, clearly, I, Max from the past, know better. And certainly I, Max from the past, has the scope to look over this story and automatically know what needs fixing and what doesn't. And that right there is the problem. You right now, the version of you in the past writing the story for the person in the future that will be the present, you don't have the entire story to work with. You can't just look at the story as a whole and go, oh yeah, this needs to be revised. Or oh yeah, this has to be changed right here. You think you have it, you actually don't. You don't at all. And this may be like really hard for people to understand, especially if like you haven't gone through the whole process once. But I can assure you, when you have your book as a whole, and you can see where it starts and where it ends, the feeling of being able to go, oh yeah, this scene does not belong in this story, it's an amazing feeling of empowerment, because you can tell. You can tell. It's like trying to assemble a whole jigsaw puzzle and being able to see near the end, it's like, oh, clearly this piece goes here, it can't go anywhere else. And there's also, of course, aside from the big picture, there's also the smaller pictures within the big picture. Just because you now, right now, the version of you who's writing at this very moment, let's say chapter 24, thinks that something needs to be fixed, it doesn't mean that that problem will be fixed then and there, and that it may even be a problem in the long run. You could end up in a situation in which you fix something on chapter 25, you go back and revise the entire story, only to realize on chapter 50 that you have to do it all over again because you, not having the scope, fixed something that wasn't really a problem. And there's of course the unfortunate reality of cutting things out of the story. I can assure you, right now, I have never met a single writer who cut things out during the editing as you go phase. It was always adding or changing things, and the unfortunate truth is that sometimes you have to cut things out of the story. Sometimes you have to remove scenes that don't matter anymore. Or remove elements that seem so important, but because you are writing right now, or trying to write, or procrastinating to write, you are so attached to the work you're putting into this, into the time, that most writers don't have the courage to just say, well, I have to cut this entire chapter. Most of them go, well, I spent 3 days, a whole week working on this chapter, I can't cut it. And that right there is poison. That's pretty much the reason why you have to wait. You have to finish the story and let it sit so you can read it with fresh eyes and actually be objective about the revision process. You can't do it any other way. Now, as with my previous video, I understand that this kind of like big overarching advice helps a lot of people, and it doesn't help a bunch. Because it's not tangible, because I can tell you, and until you wish to acknowledge it, you won't. So I'm gonna give you a bit of mechanical, technical advice, okay? What do I do? What do I do when I'm in the middle of the first draft of the writing process to never go back and edit? No matter how small the mistake, no matter how simple and little it may seem. Because right now, I don't have the full story. I have no reason to know if it's a problem or not. I have no way, no inkling of an idea whether this has to be fixed right now or not. But sometimes it's hard to see. Sometimes what we need is just a little bit of focus. I'm gonna take this as a great chance to once again talk about my favorite writing program of all time, Focuswriter. Focuswriter is a free writing program, distraction-free writing program, and before anyone asks me, I'm not actually sponsored or anything. It's a free-to-download program. I just love it, and one of the reasons why I really love it is because you can customize what it looks like, and as you can see on the screen, I make mine a black screen because I want nothing distracting me, just text in front of me. The entire program is customizable, and the thing that I like to do the most in this program, the feature that no other program has except for Ulysses 3, which is a writing program that costs like $75, this has it for free, and it's typewriter writing. Whatever is the line you're currently working on, that line is centered on the middle of the screen, and you write as though it's a typewriter with the text constantly moving upwards. This right here is the best, because as the text is moving, I never have to scroll up or down like you would with Word or Scrivener or another writing program. It's moving without me doing anything else. And since I'm highlighting the line I'm currently working on, everything else is dimmed. And all I can do, all I can think about when I'm writing is what I am writing about. And I mentioned in a previous video that I like to also disable spell check so that I don't see any red lines distracting me. I'm just focusing on the line that I'm writing right now. And then the next one after that. And the next one after that. There is literally no room to go back and check. There is no room for distracting myself. It's just what matters now. This line and then the next line. As they say, books are written word by word. And that's why I really like Focuswriter. That's why when I was brainstorming my answer for this particular question, I was thinking, well, what has helped me? What have I done? And I found that aside from just literally just acknowledging that, yeah, I'm wasting time right now because I don't have the full scope to know what needs editing. Aside from internalizing that, getting the tool that works the best for me, in this case, Focuswriter, made a whole world of difference. Because it's funny, because as I was brainstorming this video, I realized, yeah, when I used to write in Word or in Evernote, I would have to scroll up and down, and you know, you can't resist to take a peek. You go, oh, maybe I should read what I wrote yesterday. Oh, that's the worst line ever written. I should rewrite it. Oh god. Oh, wait a minute. Did I forget to describe? Oh no, I forgot to describe what this location looks like. Oh no. And this dialogue has no tags. And oh god, wait a minute. Did I describe when the character closed the door on their way out? Wait a minute. Did they just teleport around the room? Everything's on fire. The world is ruined. The end days are upon us. When you're just focusing on what you're writing, all of those things are completely bypassed. So it was weird for me to be like, yeah, I used to do that. Those days sucked. So I hope that, if anything, I've given you another point of view. Focuswriter is free to download. Please go give it a try. It's on every system. It's on Linux, it's on Windows, it's on Mac. It's free to download. It's literally the best thing. I can't believe that I was this close. I was this close to buying Ulysses 3. Just because I wanted the typewriter style of typing. And there it is in Focusrite. For free. Now, I hope that, again, if anything, I gave you another point of view, and I hope that you can push through and stop editing as you write. Just stop. You're really not saving yourself any more time. If anything, you may actually be hindering yourself for later on, because you may have this patchwork of a story in which you were fixing things as you go without scope, and that, from personal experience, I can tell you, that's gonna be more work to revise later on. But anyhow, hopefully, you won't be doing that anymore. I want to thank you for tagging along. On the screen right now, links to social media where you can find me, as well as a little hint down in the description down below. There's a link to a place where you can treat me to a cup of coffee if you enjoyed this video. I would really appreciate it. People really like the one-time donations, and I really appreciate them. So, there's that. You can treat me to a cup of coffee. Now, as we roll into the formal outro, I want to let you know that up here, a playlist with writing advice videos, over 200 writing advice videos. It's crazy. Up here, a link to subscribe. Over here, a link to my Patreon, where you can get cool perks. And over here, a link to my other channel with my best friend Kitty, where we're very, very, very silly people. Thank you for tagging along. Thank you for spending a little bit of your day with me. And I hope you have a lovely, lovely writing day.